with Governor Evers before May 17th to talk about whether he condemns the decision and whether he will overturn it. We have a promise from her that we can meet with him. We have a promise that she will find out why our family was not notified in a timely manner. And we have a promise that John Tate II will be spoken to and investigated about this incident.
How do you feel?
I won't know that until it actually happens.
Karen, you guys were calling for justice. You feel like you're a step closer to justice at all today?
I feel that we are a little bit closer. At least we have her word, and she's promised over and over that she is going to give us a call and get this meeting set up with Evers. So I do feel like we're a step ahead right now. Because that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted today. We wanted to meet with Evers today. So I think we feel pretty good that we're going to get that. And I believe it. I'm a pretty optimistic and, godly woman, and prayer is powerful, and I really believe we're going to see Evers. I really believe that. So,
And let me state for the record that we are asking for no grant of parole from this day forward until the end of the year at least, and that Governor Evers takes John Tate II out of office, because obviously he cares more about the criminals than he does the victims.
absolutely.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
also overturn this ruling for his parole and keep him in prison.
Who was it that you spoke with?
Chief of Staff, maybe.
Oh,
Chief of Staff, Maggie.
Chief of Staff.
Were you guys hoping that the governor would have been here today?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We really wanted to see today.
We knew his itinerary included being in Marinette today, but now all of a sudden it includes other things like going to
Milwaukee.
to Snap on Tools or something like that. I mean, of course, that's more important than trying to speak to the family of a murder victim and taking care of that business. Of course, that's more important. I feel like we're pushed to the wayside, to be honest with you.
Especially because May 17th is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa goes back to Arkansas.
And you go-
She's part of this group.
Yes.
And I said, she goes back on Thursday. So this meeting has to be done before she goes back, because she is going to be a part of this. And I have Maggie's business card with her info. If I don't hear from her in another day or two, I'm going to be calling right back up here. So-
Did you get any promise other than the opportunity to meet with the governor?
No. No.
Yeah, well, we were told that she would speak to her staff about not delivering the message that we wanted a meeting. Even though over 20 messages were sent, she did promise that she would speak with her staff about that. She did promise that she would review the transcripts from the murder with Governor Evers, and that he actually knew about the case but wasn't sure that we wanted to meet with him, even though every single message that we sent said absolutely, please call us and please meet with us.
I think it's important too that when you see that you have a breakdown in communication just in this building, just in this office, how can we trust that everything is going to be okay when he is released, or somebody's going to be monitoring him out there? I think that that says something, and it needs to be brought to attention, because we are not the only family fighting this. If our message barely got through because we weren't predicted to come here, thank goodness that we did. Imagine how many other families are out there going through exactly what we are.
And we're going to work very hard to make sure that this grant that has given him this opportunity, we're going to work very hard to see that in the future it excludes first-degree intentional murderers. I'm sure there are a lot other nonviolent offenders that could have been released instead of Douglas Balsewicz.
One of the things too, and this was put out with all of the stories that were being told, is that there's only one way that the story can end. And that story is by overturning a decision that you made because you looked at a process instead of records and transcripts. You know, I'm sure there's a whole lot of people in prison that should get out, that could get out, but not immediately, and not after only serving 24 years of a sentence. It's just wrong. So for this family, if we don't want to lose faith in the system, the only way the story can end is with them overturning it and he stays in prison.
Are you convinced you're going to be able to convince the governor of that?
I know what kind of man I am. I know what kind of people my family are. I know this. I know that I have feelings. I know I have empathy. I know I have sympathy. When you're in a position of trust and a position of authority the way they are, you've got to get this call right. You cannot appoint somebody who might have been in some different position years earlier and put them in a position like that where you're making these kinds of critical decisions. So I want to believe that there's hope. I want to believe that story is getting out because I think this thing blew up on them. They didn't realize the impact. They didn't realize what this family was going to do, and it's out there now. I don't know how you live it down.
So talk to me a little bit about, you said that they looked not at the records and the transcript. Just talk to me a little bit about that. You believe that they didn't really fully look into it?
I don't think they look at the record. I think they're looking at a process. He was behaving in prison and he met certain criteria. This individual only got minimum security because he volunteered to go out of state. That's how he ended up in minimum security prison. So he's a model citizen. No, he wasn't a model person before the murder. He's not going to be a model citizen coming out because he's got 24 years of anger. He got busted. He spent time in prison. So he can't get out.
So when you were in there, you asked specifically whether maybe the chief of staff to Evers, whether they were condemning the release, whether Governor Evers was condemning and is against the release, and they wouldn't.
They would not answer us if they were condemning this, even their own feelings on it. There's no condemning this release. And that's what we want to get to Governor Evers for, is to ask him, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And before you release a person like this, why don't you get to know the family members and find out who the 23-year-old woman right here, who she was. Nobody knows who she is. We do.
Have you spoken to the judge in this case who gave him 80 years? What is that judge saying?
She's not even here right now.
No, she's in the judicial system. I think there were somebody tried to get a hold of Sykes, also Mark Williams. Both Mark Williams is such an awesome DA. But you know what? God's on our side, because when we needed to recollect what the judge said, she found the transcripts. She had the transcripts. So anything in the newspapers and everything that you see quotations on, that was word for word. That's not a lie. That's not a lie. What I heard in there, I'm a little different from my siblings. I have no trust. And I'd hate to say it, but I think she's blowing smoke up our butts. And
Let's hope she's not.
I hope the one time in my life that she proves me wrong. Because this can't go unnoticed. I mean, you have important people contacting Evers and saying, what are you doing? This can't happen. And I feel, just myself feeling, but we're only the little people. They're not going to listen to us.
I actually pointed out to Maggie in there that I've been reading a lot of the websites and things, and all of the stories being written, that this is going to be a topic come the governor race, the candidates who are coming in. This governor could be a one term and he's out, because average person is not going to be able to put up with making these kinds of boneheaded decisions that are horrible. To make a statement that we think that he served enough time to not to diminish the seriousness of the crime. Come on.
Judge Diane Sykes told us that he would not get out until he was about 70 years old, and we will not accept him getting out without doing at least half of his sentence at 55 years old.
Amen.
We will not.
Amen. We will not.
And you feel he's a danger to society?
He's definitely a danger to
Do you want
society.
to know why he's a danger to society? Because I don't believe that you can pull I don't believe a prison can pull jealousy out of a man, which he was a very jealous man. Karen,
He would call her 50 times a day on her cell phone just to keep track of where she was at. He was so jealous. He would question the kids at 2 and 4. Was there a man over here? You know, where did you go today? Was there this man? And yeah, he was a very, very jealous person right from the get-go. So
He violated her and would check to see if anyone did anything to her. And for these reasons, he is not safe to be let out in the state of Wisconsin. And some of you guys are going to be his neighbor.
Right.
And one of your sisters or cousins or aunts could be his next girlfriend. He's getting out young enough to have another partner, more children, and Johanna Rose didn't even get a chance to raise hers. Her daughter just had her first baby. She needed her mother there with her. We are here and fighting for her.
And we're not gonna stop.
We're the
We're not gonna
voice of JoJo. And we're not going to stop until justice is served. We've had one law made in the state of Wisconsin, and we'll do it again.
Hey, Kim, real quickly, you came here to meet with the governor. Are you satisfied walking out of here today with the promise that the governor will meet with you?
Again, I'm a little different than my siblings. I have a hard time trusting. I'm going to take Maggie at her word because that's what she asked of us.
I
But I
think we
guess
can
we're
only
gonna-
go off actions.
Yeah.
And
You know,
so far,
actions,
our actions.
actions speak louder than words, so bring it on, Evers. Bring it on.
Did they tell you a date or that it just was?
No.
Before
As soon
May
as
17th.
Yeah. And she told us,
Before May, when do you go back?
I go back on Thursday, but we asked her to do it before May 17th. And she gave us her word. These were her words over and over. I am not a liar. I am not a liar. I am not a liar. So with those words, we are going to have her put her money where her mouth is.
And what do you want to tell Governor Evers in this meeting? Because you don't just want to meet with him, you want him to act. You want Tate to act.
Governor Evers, I voted for you with my union from the MTEA. We organized and knocked doors for you, and I believed in you. And for you not to contact our family or condemn his release is a slap in the face and makes me reconsider the kind of person that I voted for, sadly.
I'll second that.